back everyone to my series Cricutmas in July. All month long I will be dropping beginner-friendly tutorials that are gonna help you gain some confidence with your Cricut. For day 2, we are gonna be discussing what are the basic things we are gonna need to use our Cricut. So what I mean is, do we need certain mats? Do we need certain blades? Do we need certain vinyls? I am going to discuss all that. Because when we get our Cricut, we are a bit overwhelmed. We don't even know where to start or what this comes with. So this is my machine. It is the Cricut Maker 4. I did have the Explorer Air 2 before this, so I do have a gist on how both of these machines work. When you get your Cricut, it does come with the blade. This cuts through vinyl, cardstock, all these different things that you are going to see on my materials list when I show you in a minute. This always gets loaded into clamp B. If you forget, your Cricut will tell you when you're going to start your cut. Now on the side here, I have a bunch of my go-to tools. This is a material roller. It is just going to make sure it flattens to the mat and it's not going to have any air bubbles underneath your material. This is essentially the same kind of thing as a scraper, but I choose to use the roller instead. This is a spatula that's going to help lift any sticky things that might be stuck to your mat. It's always a good idea to have a very sharp pair of scissors on standby. Now a weeder is an absolute must. I really love this one because it is super sharp and it feels like you're writing with a pen, so it gives you more control over it. Now if you plan on cutting a lot of cardstock, this tool is an absolute must for you. This is a scoring tool and it is going to help create fold lines so you don't struggle to figure out where you're supposed to do that. I use this when it came to making my pocket invitation, so something like that, this is absolutely essential. If you see yourself using the handwriting function to address envelopes or things like that, I absolutely recommend grabbing a compatible pen. When it comes to pens and markers with your Cricut, there are adapters that will help you so you can use a certain one. If you're going to be using vinyl a lot to cut with your Cricut, I would highly recommend getting an X-Acto blade. It will be a lot easier to cut the vinyl when you have it adhere to your mat instead of pulling it up and cutting with scissors. Now, if you see yourself embossing or debossing, I would definitely recommend getting one of these. It has the same housing station, so you just need to get different tips for both of those. The same thing goes with foiling. You get the same housing station, but you have the different tips that can be loaded into it based off the thickness you want for your design. Now, I briefly touched on this before, but we have two clamps that come with our Cricut. Clamp A is mainly for our writing function and our scoring tool, and this clamp B is mainly for cutting and doing embossing and foiling like I showed you with those metal tools. Now, don't worry, your Cricut will alert you what tools go into which clamp based on what functions you have in your design. So you absolutely do not need to remember that. On our machine on the right-hand side, there are 4 small buttons. Of course, the top one is our power button. The one directly underneath with the 2 arrows is the loading in of the Cricut mat. Then we have the play button, which is essentially the go button. And then we have the pause button in case something goes horribly wrong. Now, something I wish someone would have told me when I started my Cricut journey is there are different types of vinyls. Depending on how you're applying the vinyl to something is what kind of vinyl you're gonna need. So if you're transferring a design to a shirt or maybe a hat, you're gonna look for a heat transfer vinyl. That is HTV. Or if you're looking to create an acrylic sign, you're gonna look for a normal vinyl, such as permanent or removable, depending on whether you want the design to be removed after the fact or not. I will be going into more detail as we go on with different projects. And for now, I'm going to leave this video as is, as I gave you a pretty broad overview on things Cricut can do and the tools it can use. And all the product recommendations that I gave during this video, I will make sure to link on my LTK and my Amazon storefront for you all. And make sure to come back tomorrow for Cricutmas in July, day 3, where I will actually be creating something with you guys. And make sure you jump back on my last video if you are interested in winning my Simply Modern template giveaway.